If you're in a leadership role, you can be certain of one thing. You will face some degree of adversity. Now, it could be all sorts of things that can happen when you lead a team, an organization, a business unit, no matter what you lead, or even if you lead a non-profit organization or an association or a club, there will be adversity for sure. Now, the question is, how do we deal with that as a leader? Well, it's easy to see what you shouldn't do is to get nervous, get all worked up, and then try to somehow fix it. That is not going to be really great. A much better way is if you can be like a rock, the water is really wild around you and you are not really moving, you are clear-minded, you make the right choices as good as you can, of course, and you will overcome the adversity together with your team. Well, easier said than done. I had actually an epiphany after my second job. It's quite a long time ago. It was in 1997. I actually quit my last job. I was export sales manager, and I was completely exhausted at the end of these 2 years. I felt I was completely let down by the management of my organization. And I wondered, how can I make sure this will never, ever happen again to me? I took, in fact, 3 weeks holiday before I continued with my new role in a new organization to reflect on that question. I didn't do much else. And the longer I thought about it, the more I realized, well, I may be able to avoid exactly the same situation, but some other kind of big trouble could happen again, and I may not even know what it is. I actually cannot 100% avoid it. And then I thought, okay, if I can't avoid it, what am I going to do? I don't want to end up in the same way I ended up after these 2 years. And I realized I should not take things personally anymore that are work-related. So I realized the main reason why I was suffering a lot in my last role was because I took things very personally. I was super engaged and I felt I was let down and I felt it was a personal attack of sorts on me. And that felt really terrible. However, when I realized that if I wouldn't have taken things so personally, I probably wouldn't have suffered even a tenth of what I did. Now, I want to be very clear. Not taking things personally does not mean to be aloof. Does not mean to say, oh, I don't care. What you should do as a leader, in my opinion, is you should take things very seriously. You should be sincere, but you don't take it personally, even if the other party means it personally. And again, I know that's easier said than done, but it can be learned. You just need to keep reminding yourself, I'm not going to take this personally. I'm not going to take this personally. I will take it seriously, but I'm not going to take it personally. And then I deal with it. And I can tell you since 1997, which is now almost 20 years ago, almost 30 years actually, I had a lot of adversity again, much worse situations than back in 96 and 97. And yet I managed to keep a sane mind because I kept reminding myself not to take it personally, take it seriously, but not personally.